The European Union has been torn apart for their shocking handling of Vladimir Putin's war moves in the Ukraine. The Brussels bloc has faced criticism for not taking decisive action on Russia's increasingly threatening position to Ukraine. Robert Taylor, a columnist at The Telegraph, voiced his disapproval of the EU's conduct. Writing a devastating op-ed for the broadsheet, he said, "What the hell is it, the EU, playing at?" In umming and ahhing about whether a confrontation will weaken individual member economies, the organization is putting its own selfish interests ahead of what's right. President Macron says Europe must open its own dialogue with Russia, separate from America's and NATO's. This is precisely what Putin craves, a divided, disunited West. And what on earth is Macron's idea of a security and stability pact between Russia and the EU? If that isn't appeasement, I don't know what is, and it leaves the Ukrainians rightly afraid that their future might be decided without their own say. It's all too redolent of great powers treating countries like pawns on a chessboard. Mr. Macron, who is up for re-election in April, also decided to use much of his speech at the European Parliament to call on allies from the 26 other member states to be tough on the UK for post-Brexit fishing and the Northern Ireland Protocol. Mr. Taylor also used his piece to champion Brexit Britain for taking control of its own foreign policy agenda to stand up for Kiev. He wrote, "Thank goodness Britain knows better, and Ukraine sees us as one of its closest friends, a country that punches well above its weight in Kiev in terms of influence and power." Already, the UK has sent new weapons system to Ukraine, and troops to provide training, in marked contrast to Germany, which refuses to do any such thing. Speaking about what Britain was doing to counter Russia, Foreign Secretary Liz Truss told an Australian think tank, "This week, the United Kingdom announced a new package of training, support and defensive weapons for Ukraine to boost their defensive capabilities." "And we're working with our partners on high-impact measures targeting the Russian financial sector, and individuals." We're also strengthening our bilateral partnership following high-level talks in London in December, and we're fostering new trilateral ties with Poland and Ukraine. We're also pushing for alternatives in energy supply, so that nations are less reliant on Russia for their gas. We need everyone to step up. Together with our allies, we will continue to stand with Ukraine and urge Russia to de-escalate. Mr. Taylor's comments about Britain's quick response was echoed by Anthony Gardner, who served as America's ex-ambassador to the European Union. Unlike Mr. Taylor, who supported the UK's departure from the EU, Mr. Gardner, who backs the bloc and worked for Barack Obama when the 44th president said Britain would be at the back of the queue if it cut ties with Brussels. Mr. Gardner wrote on Twitter, "As bad as Brexit has been, I fully admit that a significant upside is that the UK can act swiftly in foreign affairs including Ukraine rather than being dragged into endless EU waffle.